Toitu Te Tiriti, Toitū He Wakaputanga. He mea anō tērā, me pēr tātou kia whakatutukai i ngā wawata mō rātua. I know when we think about those kaupapa, we think it's about, down the road with the flags, but there's lots of ways of expressing that. And thinking about the simple ways we have at home, every day we do things of rangatiratanga that affirm our rangatiratanga, whether it's taking our tamariki down to the awa for koko, talking about that beautiful awa, and whether it's taking them to the marakai. There's lots of ways of expressing that, Ed Whanauga, and I know that if we build on those simple concepts of rangatiratanga, you build on that, and suddenly people are realising that they're actually in a space where we actually live a life of rangatiratanga, but we need to recognise it, but also acknowledge that to ourselves as well.
Tēnā koe. Just before I go to that korero, in Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and specifically in He Wakaputanga, there is a paragraph in there that alludes to ngāhuru, and the ngāhuru of the old people's times, back in the 1700s and the 1800s, their version of ngāhuru, not ours of today, and that we were meant to go back to taurangatira every ngāhuru and sit down and have this very discussion that you're talking about here today. So that ngāhuru kōrero, I'd love to hear it more. I'd love to hear that be the wānanga, as opposed to being around the government and the authority and who's the top house, who's the bottom house, and all this kind of rhetoric, that we get back to the basics of, if we haven't got our own resources, how can we be independent? How can we go out there and expose to the younger generation this idea around tino rangatiratanga, self-governance, whakaputanga, te tiriti, and yet we are still at the bottom of the socio-economic ladders. I don't mean economically, I just mean at home. In our homes, there's a lot of mamai that's going on right now. We've got young people, kohinga, they're dying of unnatural causes. And how does that all tie in to us to achieve tino rangatiratanga if we can't protect our young people and take care of their basic requirements, their basic needs around protecting the tinana, te hinengaro, me te wairoa? That's a big one there, Cyril. Mā tātou.
Ai te marike te whanonga me mihi anō ki ka koe meu kore whakaputaka e ngā whakaaro, whai whakaaro. Mā ngā whanonga whakaaro mai anai tēnata, ko te mea nui ka tuku mihi kia papa tunuku ranginui mō tēnei rā. Ranga te hara mai, ka puta mai, te hari me te ko, me te mene he tino ronga anō hoki i tēnā e te whanonga. Ai me mihi kauna tēnei kia koe, tēnā koe.
Ai, kia ora tātou. E taka kōrero mo te ngāi hoa, just mo te mahinga kai, hauhake ngā kai. So we're just doing a harvest, starting our harvest period now. And I know everybody gets caught up in the harvesting of the kai and me hari ko te iwi, we want to have big hakiri. So here's my last kōrero. Just want to sneak in there around our hakiri. For us to have our hakiri, we need to reset our tikanga around hakiri too. That it is about the acknowledgement of our connection to Papa Tūnaku Ranginui, and that we acknowledge that hakiri, but we still have to be mindful around that hakiri that we share, and we look after that hakiri, and we just make sure that it's sustainable, and that we can continue that process throughout the entire winter, not just 2-3 big hakiri, and then kua pau te pātaka, we got nothing left. So, aroha mai, that was my last kōrero. Mea hoaha tēnā ki a koutou, oku whanaunga o maunga taniwha. Engari, i ngā wā katoa, tuku mihi ki a koutou e hoa, mo te kaha ki te hikoi, mea kaha ki te mea tautoko ngā tini hui, ngā kaupapa katoa, haka hira nā waiata katoa, ko koutou o Tautoko FM, e te tuikana Cyril, mihi nui ki a koe.